Hello, friends. Welcome back to another stream. It's Monday again, a new week, and we got a brand new topic for today. So, no coding today. Today is about this here, about streaming and my current setup. And yeah, I've already come a long way since I think I started streaming in January. So 1 year of streaming and a lot of things I've learned. And yeah, my current setup here, all this here has changed a lot. And this is what this stream is about. Show you a little bit of my current setup, the hardware, the software. Maybe I'll share some tips along the way. If you have questions, yeah, please just ask about streaming yourself. And I hope I could share you some insights about my setup, and it might help your setup, and maybe some of you are going to start streaming then as well. So let's see who is already here. Hello, Nathan. How's it going? Good match yesterday. Oh, it wasn't Saturday. Liverpool won again. That's good. Hey, buddy, what's going? H1, yeah. Hello, Jose. What's going on? Sharon, how's it going? Yeah, I hope you are all good. I hope you had a great start into this week. And yeah, I think we're just diving right into this topic. So, streaming. Probably have already seen at the beginning of my stream, what I try to do is integrated another camera, which I haven't used before, but I think could be useful to see so that you can see what I see here. So, yeah, some of the things like the camera, the microphone, you don't see that well. And with a second camera, I thought it was a good idea to show it better to you. But the issue is, which I just realized while it was online, that there is a huge delay. So let me try to get it back in here. Here it is. So let's see. Yeah. So there is now a big delay. I don't know why. It's an app called Detail app, which I've seen of my buddy Dries using, but somehow there is some kind of big delay here. So the thing you see currently is not what actually is live. So yeah, so I think it's already 1 or 2 minutes behind. So I'm not sure if this will help us today. So let's get rid of that again. All right, so how do we start? I think it's a good idea to start at my first stream just for a few seconds and see how the setup has changed, how I have changed. And I think this gives a little bit of context here. So, what do I want here? I'd like this one. Yeah, here we go. So that's me, that's Lara Streamers. I'm currently live. Tomorrow we have also Past in Practice with Luke Donnan again, and Steve, of course, has also some streams this week. But we are interested in my first YouTube stream, so let's give this a look here. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see here that here are all my past streams. And as you can see, I was quite active this year. So the first stream here is this one, streaming setup test 10 months ago. So this means I'm now 10 months of streaming. And yeah, what we can see here is, let me just mute it because we don't need sound. I was using StreamYard, which is a streaming software which I used before the one which I use now. And yeah, here you can see it powered by StreamYard. So this was the free version. Yes, the version from StreamYard, which you can use for free. I think it's just 720p, so you don't have the full resolution, but it's great to give it a start. And the best thing about StreamYard is that it's super easy to begin with streaming because it's just a website. You just log in, you have everything in the browser, you don't need an extra app, and it's also very performant. So this means the decoding and everything is not happening on your computer. It's just being sent through the browser, and then StreamYard is taken care of. And you have a nice interface where just have some buttons to start streaming, invite people. Actually, it's pretty good for having interviews and inviting other people as well. And yeah, so the first streams of mine I did with StreamYard, and also Frake Van der Herpen was using StreamYard, and I had the idea about using this by him. So thanks again, Frake. And yeah, if you think about starting streaming, it's a really, really good solution because it's just so easy to start, and you can definitely more concentrate on the important things, the content, the thing that you want to show to the viewers out there. And yeah, at the beginning, the whole streaming thing can be a little bit overwhelming, of course, because now you have a camera here, you maybe have some lights, you have two screens, you have to think about all the tech, that everybody is fine, that people can hear you, that people can see you. You maybe have to check the comments, and then you have to maybe code and show people. So that's a lot to do altogether. So yeah, StreamYard helps you by taking all this complexity from the software away from you, and you can start streaming very easily. I have a link for StreamYard also here in the description of this video if you want to check it out. This is the app. All right, let me see anything more. Yeah, by the way, if you have any questions, please use a queue at the beginning so that I can later scroll through the questions and then take a look together so I don't miss anything. Here's an example question. All right. So, and yeah, as we can see here from the image, the quality was not super good, but it also wasn't bad because at that time, the first camera I was using was not this huge expensive camera. It also wasn't the very poor camera from the monitor or my laptop. It was my iPhone. So I think the overall look of the image isn't that bad. It's just a little bit worse because I used the free version of StreamYard. But yeah, that's another tip if you don't have a really good webcam, and in my opinion, there aren't many good webcams. I would say there is no really good webcam, but using your iPhone or an old iPhone is a good solution. You can just connect it to your computer, and then you can use an app like Detail app. That's the one which is currently not working, or the Camo app. I will also link them in the description. So I think there are 2 or 3 apps out there which you can use then to connect your iPhone and use it as a webcam. And it's not only good for streaming, also for calls. And if you have an old iPhone which you don't need anymore, you can use it for that, which is, yeah, I think really nice because the camera of the iPhone, of course, is really good. Maybe let's check out another of my streams then. Maybe this one here. Let's see. I think here I have already bought StreamYard. Yeah, let's see. I think, yeah, 1080p. I'm not sure currently. It could be the 1080p is the highest resolution you can use with StreamYard. I don't know that out of my head, but yeah, I guess I'm really used to this new software which I'm using with. Currently, we're streaming in 2K, but we can only do it with 4K, which is pretty cool. And my upcoming streams will also, most of them will be in 4K because, yeah, I think it's just very cool to have this clear image. And is there anything? Oh, yeah, there's something else I wanted to show you in the first video. Because here in this first setup video, I also did a test call with Freek together. And yeah, you can see also his old setup. And if you compare this setup to his new one, yeah, it also has changed a lot. So sorry, Freek, for showing this here, but I think it's a good example to see how, yeah, the image quality and the setup and yeah, the whole streaming experience has involved for someone. So it's not only for me, but also for Freek. And yeah, I think his new setup looks much better than this one. Here, so I've been using then my phone for quite a long time. I actually don't know when I really switched to the new one. Let me see. We have here some previews. Yeah, this for sure is already the new camera. Oh yeah, and here I was already using the new software, which we're going to talk about in just a bit. But let's go through here to this beginning screen. And yeah, you can see immediately how the quality has changed a lot. And yeah, I guess you also see it on the camera, or also if I switch back in here, the quality of the image, yeah, is now much better because of this camera, which I think we're also going to talk about. But I really want to get first into the software which I'm currently using. So yeah, we have started with StreamDeck, which was a nice solution and worked very well for me. I've used some apps and the iPhone as my camera, and then I switched to a new one. But now let's talk about first this new software which I'm using, which is called Ecamm Live. And there is some nice thing to show you exactly, so that you can exactly see what I see here. So let me try to bring up the so-called live demo mode. Okay, you should see now my whole screen here with all those windows. Let me just check here real quick that you really see this, because I don't see it myself on the screen. Yeah, okay, I just checked and it seems it looks good. So this is what I see here on my second monitor. And every time I do streaming, I have here my second monitor. Actually, it's my laptop here, and here I have my main monitor here in this direction. And so everything what I do is here on my main monitor, and everything for streaming I have here on the right. And you can see it might looks a little bit overwhelming because we have a lot of windows here. And yeah, I think it's best just to go through them and talk a little bit what's happening here, because you probably haven't used this before and this could be of interest to you. Okay, first here I have my scenes. And the scene is like the setup which you currently see here from the design and looks. So I have a lot of different scenes here. I've also separated them for streaming with an interview, for recording, or for demoing something. But streaming is what I use most of the time. And as you can see, for the waiting screen, which you've seen at the beginning, and then we're back here. So yeah, for all those things here, I can just switch by showing a specific screen. And you've also seen that during those scenes, some of them where I play some videos, my microphone is muted. And yeah, so this is how I can separate like the kind of different situations I have for streaming. Like the waiting screen, then I have this countdown for some dramatic intro, and then my welcome screen with the intro here, which is this one where I want to be big, prominent, and talk to you and make a kind of introduction. And then we're going into sharing maybe some code. I'm showing you something on a website or doing some programming, some kind of screen sharing. And this is what these screens are. And I have this one here with my little bubble at the bottom, but also currently I like to use this one, which I've seen by Frake using, which I really like, where you have a bigger window or bubble on the left with me, and then a little smaller part here for sharing and show you something. And all of these scenes here have some specific overlays, and you can see the overlays here. So for example, for this scene here, I have something where I share my screen. That's this one here. As you can see, it's actually just a rectangle with some border which I have defined. And if I get rid of it, you can see that it's just one part of the screen. And also my camera here, which is also just a rounded camera, and like the design around is just an image which I have imported. Or actually, if we get rid of both of them here, you can see that this actually is my background, which I have created myself. Um, yeah, probably could look better, but it's something that I could do myself, and it looks a little bit similar to my blog, and this was my goal here. But as you can see, if I get rid of this, this is just overlay on the screen sharing itself. And let's bring in the cameras again, and this is how you can composite your designs for your specific scenes by having different overlays. And what I could do is I could bring in another camera overlay, for example here. Let's say I want to make this circle again, and then put this here, and then I have two of mine here. And this is also how I could bring in some guests. Now I'm saying, okay, now I want a different camera, or let's bring in the other camera which I have installed, but is just way far behind what we actually are here in time. And yeah, so here I also have some guests here. And this is how I can define what kind of camera I want to show. And if I have a guest is a kind of camera which I can just bring into a scene with an overlay. And the same also goes for screen sharing, which is just a screen overlay. And yeah, what I like about this is that you're very flexible in what you can do in order to design your screens. And this is also one of the reasons why I switched from StreamDeck to Ecamm Live. So again, Ecamm Live, that's how this software is called, because you have way more option to design your slides. And I think it's cool that I could customize them and bring in some little design um, goodies looking similar to my blog. So this is also pretty cool. And yeah, these were these kind of overlays, and for every screen here I have different overlays. Okay, then here we have sound levels where we can see just what's happening on the audio side. So I have wavelength stream. Let me bring this up here as well. Yeah, so you can see this too. So yeah, that's a software by, I think it's also Elgato, right? I think so, yeah. And here you can see some different channels here. For example, my Elgato Wave XLR, that's a microphone which I use. And I have some sounds directly from my StreamDeck, which I will show in just a minute, Apple Music or Ecamm Live. And it's a nice way here to define some of the audio levels here. And yeah, it's kind of having a little mixer here, which you also would have in your analog world. So this is what we can see here in this upper bar. But also if I'm playing some effects like, let me see, like this one here. You could see here that I could see if any other effects I'm playing, or also if I'm playing some music. So what you've also have seen, if I go back to my waiting screen, for example, I have added some music here. And this also brings us back here to the sound effects, which are just some music files which I have here, which you probably have heard one. This is one from a waiting screen. And then what's this one? This is for my countdown. And what's cool is here I can connect them to specific scenes. So if I go back to, let's say, my live waiting screen, you can see at the top that you see the audio file that it's connected. I think you can't hear me if I switch back, but you will see it if you look. Okay, so I hope I could see you, but it's cool that I can connect some specific audio files to specific scenes, and then they automatically go to the next one and the audio is over again. So this is how you can take a lot of those preparation, or you can prepare a lot in order to make the streaming organizing stuff for you way less, because everything is already set up and I just have to click some buttons and I'm good to go. So this is what I really like about this, and these are the auto effects. Then here on the right, most important, the comments. Guess you have already seen this. So I have here an extra comment and reactions layer here, where I also can see how many of you have already liked this video. So currently it's just one. So yeah, if you like the video, please like the video. This will help me for sure, and this will also show me a little icon which you can also see here, and yeah, which gives the streamer a little bit of boost if he sees that people are liking it. Also, by the way, here I can see how many people are currently watching. So currently we have 10. And yeah, here I can go through and I just can click on some of those comments here and yeah, bring them to the stage so that everybody can see it. And that's also one of my most favorite tips. If you are referring to something someone said in the comments, show it somehow on the screen, because if you're just replying to it, the other people who have no idea what the question was about have no idea what the question was about. So it's always a good idea to bring those in. Oh yeah, not a like. Thank you. That's always nice. Then here I also have some camera effects here, where I could do something with brightness, the colors. I could mirror it if I think this is the better side for me, but mostly I don't use this myself. But yeah, that's overall my setup here with all the windows which I need for streaming. I think there are of course some more windows which we don't see right now, but these are the most important ones. Maybe one interesting one is also the one for the interview. Here it is. Let's bring this in here so that you can see this as well. So if you're using Ecamm Live Pro, which I'm using, you have some specific amount of hours per month for interviewing. And if you want somebody to join your stream, I can just click here, copy a specific, that's an interview chat. I think I just have to click somewhere here. Wait. Interview mode on. Let's see. Okay, I don't see the button right now, but I think somewhere here. Okay, I don't see it right now, but I just have to click a button and then I have a link which I can send to any one of my guests and they can come in. Then they have a nice website where they can define their audio, their video, and everything. And then I can see all the guests here in this screen. And then I can say, okay, this interview should be, this guest should be on the guest one camera, for example. And then what I can do is, for example, go to my streaming interview screens here, which I've designed differently for guests. And then I can say, yeah, guest number one should be here. And then automatically you can see the guest here. And this is really nice because, again, I can prepare all those settings here and those scenes here and then can use it. By the way, also Freek helped me a lot with the interview things because, he already had a lot of guests on his stream. But fun fact, Freek showed me StreamYard and I showed him Ecamm Live, and now we're both Ecamm Live. So I'm glad he is also enjoying this software. Okay, and yeah, for streaming here, I have some different scenes here. For example, sometimes I want to share some code and we both want to talk about it, so that I have this, but also maybe I have two other guests and I have now this scene. And yeah, as you can see, it's pretty cool that I can prepare this and then just bring in the guests here and we can do a stream together, which we've done in the past. I have Luke Donning here on my show. I had Jason here from Level Shift, and Freek and Jason Brooks from Level were here and we talked about the PHP Foundation. And it's cool that I have this setup here already and yeah, can just use it and don't have to think about preparing and setting this up anymore. And of course, it also has now the look which I like and which fits my overall theme here, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, what's next? Um, let's try. Let's try if we can bring in the other camera again, and if I can maybe reset it, and maybe it then works. So let's go back to this here, and let me show the second camera here again. Yeah, so I still see it's not synced. Let me just try to restart it. So I have this here on my phone. Let's reconnect this. So, a few more seconds here. Okay, so it is called Detail App. And I also have here the software which you will need on the Mac. Let me share this so you can see what I see here. And let's restart this as well. I really thought this app would work better, so I'm not sure why it has those issues here, but let's see if we can just refresh this. Currently connecting it with the app on my Mac. Okay, connect this device. We should see this now here. All right. Okay, how does this look? How does this look? I think not so bad. Is it in sync now? Let me see with my hands. I think it's better now. So let's try it real quick in order to until this is out of sync again. But let me show you a little bit of what you can see here on my setup. Let's also make this bigger. I think I have prepared this here already. Another scene. No, but let's do this together now. Let's make this wide. Let's also, I have protected it. And let's make this bigger so that you can see this here. Yeah. So this is now a little tour of my home setup here. As you can see, I have my microphone here on the super cool microphone arm, which is pretty nice because if I don't use it, I can just get rid of it. And bring it back in if I need it. Let's see, I think, yeah, it's already out of sync a little bit, but I hope it still gives you a little bit of perspective and show you what's happening here. This here is my camera, which I also have on a microphone arm, which you can see here. And this is also nice, so I can just change where I put the camera and also the direction. And then, by the way, the camera is a Sony Alpha 6400, and the lens is a Sigma 1.4. So this means a lot of light come into this camera, and this means it gives me this nice blurry background, which I wanted for my office. Then also here I have two Elgato Keylight Air, which I have mounted to my wall. Can I show this to you? Yeah, it's like this. It's mounted to the wall directly so that I don't have to, so that I don't need to have it here on my desktop. And yeah, this is now how my setup looks like with the monitor here, showing where I see all the specific things about Ecamm Live and what a show I have here on my main screen. And one thing I also wanted to show you is this here, which I'm pretty proud of because I think it looks super cool and it fits here very well. So on the left here, I have my Elgato Wave XLR. It's kind of a mini audio interface. And the cool thing is that I can mute it. So if it's red, and now you can hear me again, which I think is pretty cool because I directly see if I'm muted or not. And then here on the right, I have my StreamDeck. And this is pretty cool because with the StreamDeck, I can switch all my scenes and everything I do. So let me go through this. Yeah, besides that, I also have here buttons for changing my Twitter name. That's now my live name, Christoph is live. And then the other name is just my original name back again. I have some audio sounds here, which I can play. And I can also shut down the lights. Now it's dark, now the light's on again. And the same with my hue lights. And bring them back in. And yeah, it's just nice to have those buttons here. And there here again are all the scenes which I use for streaming, and I can easily just switch here between all the scenes. I see the name here and I also see in the screenshot. I think it's not so easy to see here for the camera, but it's pretty cool that I can just do this with the StreamDeck here. All right, let's go back to this screen here. Let's put this to the side again. And let's get rid of it again. All right, so let me check my list here. We're talking about StreamYard, Ecamm Live, about my solo scenes here, which I use when I'm streaming alone, about the scenes which I do if I have an interview. We're talking about the camera, the mic, and the Elgato StreamDeck, which is also cool about the StreamDeck. Let me show this to you as well. Is that I have here this nice interface here for the StreamDeck. Let's make this a little bit bigger here, where I also see every button here and see what they do. I can say here, for example, this is my live waiting scene, and I can define here in Ecamm Live what happens if I click this button. And I think it takes a few seconds because now it's showing me the drop down with all the scenes from Ecamm Live, which it's just nice to use this little device here where I can just click a button and then see a specific scene, which makes streaming much easier on my side. And also what you can see here, I hope it's big enough. It looks a little bit too small. Let me check what resolution here I'm using. Okay, that's actually the one which I wanted to use, but let's make it a little bit bigger. And let's switch here back to StreamDeck. Here we are. So you can see here on the left, there are so many things I could connect my Elgato StreamDeck to. So these were the options for Ecamm Live for my streaming, to go live, to pause, previous scene, next scene, etc. But you can do also so much stuff just with Twitter, with the control center, which are the Elgato lights, which I have with my Philips Hue light. With the system in general, I can open a website, open an application. So it's also possible to connect multiple actions to just one button. So in theory, I could click one button here on my Elgato StreamDeck and open up like Ecamm Live, Wavelink, StreamDeck, and go live directly and change my Twitter name. So all with one button. I haven't defined this myself, but I want to do this in the future. And yeah, there are much more plugins you can use for Stream Deck. So I think it's really cool. And I really use it a lot. All right. I think that's most of the things that I wanted to share with you. Let's check what's going on in the comments here. So there is one question by Nathan. And let me just switch over to this scene here. Have you ever tried OBS or Ecamm, etc.? It seems most of the big gaming streamers at least use that software. Yeah, so I'm using Ecamm Live. I assume that that's what you're meaning with Ecamm. I'm not sure if there's any other application by Ecamm. And OBS, I have used it once for a conference where I had to use it in order to live stream myself for the talk, but it was only once when I used it. And at the beginning, it felt way too complicated. That's why I switched to StreamYard. And then people were recommending Ecamm Live because they have a lot of new features and they're very fast now with new things. And since then, I'm using Ecamm Live because I really like it. And from what I've heard and what I've seen, it sits like in between StreamYard, which is very simple, and then OBS, which can be kind of a little bit difficult or complex to use. But yeah, to be honest, I haven't used it myself, so I can't actually tell. Hey Gertjan, you see it? I guess this was about the Ecam Live things. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. If you have any questions about the setup, about streaming in general, or how to get started or anything, this is a good chance. But if not, you can always contact me on Twitter as well. And yeah, just ask me if there's with what you have on your mind. Here's one by Chester. Hey Chester, hi Christoph. What are some of the common issues creator encounter? Mm, what kind of issues are you talking about? Do you mean like technical issues while streaming, or like issues for topics for streaming, or issues while streaming in any kind? So I guess maybe you can a little bit clarify what kind of issues you're talking about. So when we're talking about like of more creation content like issues, which I have seen. So first, for example, is you have a little bit to decide what kind of stream you want to do. So I'd say there are two ways of streaming. One is you just do what you're usually doing and people can watch you, but you don't interact with them, or mostly never, and you just do whatever you do and you don't speak, you're just coding, and that's it. And I know many people doing this. I think it's fine. Personally, I don't like to watch such streams, but I know that people are which like that. And the second way is more like what I do. I think it's like a kind of having this communication together, trying to do something together, build something together. So I highly get involved with the people who are here on the chat, with the people who are following. Um, because first, I like it. It's just more the style of streaming which I like, and I also get a lot of help from people watching. And yeah, I think that's more the way that I like streaming. Okay, technical issues while streaming. Yeah, so there are so many. It's crazy. So the most common issue is that you mute it somehow. So also happened to me a few times because yeah, it's pretty strange. So I can mute my microphone here on the audio interface, which I showed you. I can mute the microphone here on the wavelink. I could mute myself here on Ecamm Live. So I think there are like 3 or 4 ways I could mute myself, and sometimes I just forget about it. And then mostly you have to tell me that I'm muted, and then we can correct this again. Besides that, what are other technical issues? So, yeah, one big one is resolution and the size of what you want to show. For me, this is a really big one because many times for conferences, but also for streaming, I see people who show code, but they use their default resolution. And for me, this doesn't work at all because it is way too small to read what is being coded. So this means I think you really 100% every time have to adjust your resolution for streaming. Of course, there are always two sides. One side is changing your resolution. The other side is changing the font size or using a presentation assistant like in PHP Storm. So this could work, but the issue mostly is if you then switch to another application, let's say you're using PHP Storm with the presentation mode, all your fonts gets bigger and the pop-ups, windows, everything is bigger and good to read. And then you switch maybe to the browser and show something in the browser. And then the browser is too small, and then you might increase the size of the browser, but then the browser is good. But then the Apple menu at the top is very tiny, and I think this doesn't fit. So in my experience so far in this 1 year, the best way is to drop your resolution. I'm not sure if you've seen it here when I did it before. Do you see this? Let me check this real quick. Yeah, I think now you see it, right? So I'm using an app called Easy Resolution, I think. And here for my monitor, which I'm presenting to you, I've now switched to 720p. Normally what I do is I'm using 1080p because for coding, I think this is fine enough. But yeah, the years before were recorded for my video courses. I always used 720p because it's just big enough for others to read it. And you have to think about it because if you code in front of your monitor, everything is big enough. But people are watching this on YouTube and maybe they don't have it in full screen. Maybe they just have this small window here, this one player here on the side to next to something else they do. And then you have to really make it a lot bigger. Okay, there was something else I wanted to share. Resolution. Yes, I'm using the Easy Resolution app, which is really nice. And yeah, mostly I use 720p or 1080p. The thing is, what many people often don't get is if you now switch to like what I have now, 720p. The thing you now see doesn't mean the resolution of what you see is not 720p. It's just on my monitor. But this means the resolution which comes out could still be 2K, 4K. So this is something you have to be prepared. Not only because you're using a low resolution like 1080 or 7020p doesn't mean that you have a bad resolutions for others to see it. So it can still be super sharp for them to watch. That's a good thing to note. Let's think another technical issue. So we're still talking about these questions about technical issues I've seen or recognized myself. And this question was by Chester. Let me see. Yeah, of course, if you use PHP Storm or other application which use a lot of performance of your computer, it could be a little bit of problem. So on my MacBook Air M1, I have some issues streaming in 4K with PHP Storm open. So this means that's why I'm now streaming mostly in 2K. But I'm getting a new MacBook Pro, and then I think I can stream in 4K again. But yeah, internet connection is very important for sure. And thinking about the performance of your laptop, because yeah, streaming takes quite some performance of your machine. Why is the mute button on the back of that device on your desk? Yeah, interesting question. So I have these two devices here directly here beneath my upper level on the desk. So this means, so like you have seen, it was on the back and it was quite difficult to get here, but actually it wasn't intended to place it like that. So normally you would place it like in front of you and you can easily tap still on the back, but still very easily on it. but I'm just using those devices a little bit differently and so that it looks a little bit cleaner on the desk, and that's why it's a little bit more difficult for me. So yeah, actually for me it would be easier if some kind of button was at the front, but I guess I'm just using the device different to they were thinking it will be used. Hey Joao, how's it going? All good? Hey Samuel, nice to have you here as well again. All right, so um, are there any other questions you have regarding setup, regarding streaming in general? So again, if you're thinking about streaming, which I highly recommend because it's good for you presenting something to others. I have learned a lot myself just doing this. Just speaking in English constantly helps me a lot, of course. So I think it's a good thing for everybody. Then for other people watching you, how you code, how you do something live, how you think about issues you encounter. So I think streaming is really good for learning, not only for people watching, but only learning for the one who is streaming. So that's why I like it a lot, and that's why I try to show more people how to get started because I think it's useful. It's very useful, and we've seen streaming, yeah, going crazy in the gaming industry already, and I think it will be huge in coding as well in a few years or maybe next year already. And StreamYard, as I mentioned, is very good to get started because it's so easy to use. Again, I have all the links for the apps which I use or have used or have recommended in the description, so make sure to check that out. All right. So I think we don't have any more questions. I think we're going to call it a day then. And yeah, if you have any questions about streaming, you can always hit me on Twitter at Christoph Rumpel, which is my Twitter name. And yeah, I think with that being said, thank you for joining the stream today. I hope you learned something new or could show you some real world examples of the things that I use for streaming. And yeah, we're going to see us probably maybe at the end of the week or maybe next week when we'll have another stream. And then I think we're going to be coding again. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of this stream here. And yeah, have a good day. Have a great start into this week and see you the next time. Thank you so much. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate this and see you the next time. Bye.